I need to talk about this woman because I've read 2 of her books and both times I thought I had her figured out. I thought I knew exactly where this was going and she got me twice. She fooled me twice. I need to talk about her. Her name is Alice Feeney. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Charlotte and I read a lot of books and I've recently really gotten into thrillers and I have 0 coping mechanisms when an author tricks me. Literally 0. Today we're talking about His and Hers and Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I'm going to give you my spoiler-free reviews. And then I also want to talk a little bit about what makes her writing so special. Because I personally think that there's something intentional that we need to discuss. Quick disclaimer, I'm keeping major plot twists out of this, but I will talk overall themes of the books and overall vibes. If you're a completely going in blind purist, respect, come back after you read them and we can discuss together. Book 1 is His and Hers, which was published in 2020 and is now also a series on Netflix. And this is probably the book that started my Alice Feeney addiction and problem. The setup sounds almost simple. We have Anna, who is a BBC news anchor, who gets sent back to a small town in England where she's from, where her husband, ex-husband, Jack, still resides, and he is the chief of police. And she is sent there to investigate the murder of a young woman. There's history and there are secrets. We have a dual point of narration, so we have His and Hers chapters, and then we also have a third narrator whose identity stays hidden until the very last page. And that's where things get so fun and so juicy. So the book alternates between His and Hers, and the whole premise of the book is kind of baked into that there are 2 sides to every story and one side is always lying. So interesting. And I genuinely could not figure it out. Kid you not, could not figure it out. Every single chapter ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger, and I read this in 2 sittings because I could not put it down. Also, I'm dyslexic, so it takes me longer to read, so that says a lot. The pacing is super sharp, the chapters are short, and Feeney slowly drip feeds you information. You get information about what happened to Anna as a teenager, why she left the town, why their marriage fell apart, and every little detail you get shifts your trust from one person to the next, and it's so much fun. The ending, I will not spoil, but I will say that I did not see it coming, not even a little bit. Usually I'm like, oh, I kind of saw this coming. Nope, no clue, 0. And it wasn't like a twist where in hindsight you're like, ooh, this feels kind of cheap and letty. No, this was like a sharp, clean twist. My rating for this was 5 out of 5 stars. This is one of my all-time favorite thrillers. It's dark, it's addicting, it's generally unsettling, words. A little content warning for you right here. There are heavy themes around sexual assault and childhood trauma, so just go in knowing that. After His and Hers, I thought, I know what I'm getting into. Beautiful Ugly, it's gonna be a breeze. Because oftentimes authors that write thrillers, they have like a pattern that they repeat in different formulas, and it makes it easier once you've read one of their books to see where they're going to go with the rest of their books. So I was like, Alice Feeney, I'm ready. I was not ready. I was bulldozed, just flattened. Beautiful Ugly came out in January of 2025, and it's such a different book. However, she does pull a very similar trick on you, but in a very, very different way. This one follows Grady Green, who is an author who loses his wife overnight. She just disappears. His wife's name is Abby. One night in the middle of a phone call, she just gets out of her car and is never seen again. She vanishes. Her car is found by a cliff, her phone's still inside, the door open, but no trace of his wife. A year later, Grady is a wreck. He can't write, he can't sleep, he can't properly grieve. So he goes to stay in a remote Scottish island. And this island for me was practically like another character. The island has about 25 residents. It has 0 cell service, 0 reception to the outside world. And there's one ferry that goes on and off the island, which is controlled by the islanders. It's very gothic, it's very eerie, and it's very like, I should probably leave, but I'm not going to. And then while he's on this island to write, he starts seeing someone who looks exactly like his missing wife, 1-to-1. The atmosphere in this book is absolutely incredible. It's a slow burn in the best possible way. Feeney kind of builds up on information that you have. And you basically, while reading, have this melancholy sense of dread. And you're just so deep in that you can't stop. From the first 4 pages, you're just hooked. At least I was. I was very unsettled reading this. And sometimes I was like, at night, I was like, I really don't want to switch off my light. Which for me is like, you're doing something right when I feel that way. The book alternates between Grady's spiraling present day chapters and then chapters from the past where Abby's in a therapy session. And the therapy session is held a week before she disappears. So the whole time you're kind of watching Gravy unravel, you're also getting these quiet, eerie glimpses into what was actually happening in their marriage right before Abby disappeared. I had one little caveat with this book. The final reveal goes to a place, I'll tell you that. And it was a little out there. Some readers I've talked to, they absolutely loved it. I thought it was fine. Some really loved it, some hated it, thought it was really far-fetched. I was somewhere in the middle. I thought it was okay. I thought it made sense. The twist right before the ending, however, chef's kiss. Everybody I've spoken to has absolutely loved that. It made me go wild. Like, I was like, oh my God. I was staring at my wall for a solid minute. My rating for this was 4.5 out of 5 stars. I was between 4 out of 5 stars and 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's gothic, it's moody, it's super atmospheric, and if you love an isolated setting, I think you'll really like this book. It has the unreliable narrator, which is a fact that I always love when reading, and it makes you question every single character you ever encounter in this book, including the island. So here's what I kept thinking after reading both of these books. Both books have the dual perspective, and both books have an unreliable narrator. Both have a marriage or a former marriage like somewhat at the center of the story, and both slowly unravel shared trauma and secrets throughout the book. It's like an onion, layer for layer. And both ended with a twist that kind of reframes the whole story, but when you read it, if you were to read it again and you ending, it would make a lot of sense and you wouldn't be left confused, but you would be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So you truly, like, the author really put a lot of thought and time into planning the twist, and you can tell, like, it's perfectly done. But both also feel very different. His and Hers is overall, I would say, faster, more compulsive, and a lot tighter in writing. And I absolutely could not put His and Hers down. Absolutely not. Beautiful Ugly, on the other side, is, I would say, moodier, more gothic, more atmospheric, and it's more of a psychological thriller. If you want a book that's going to consume your entire evening, I would start with His and Hers. And if you want something that creeps under your skin for days, I would go Beautiful Ugly. Either way, you have to accept that she is going to outsmart you. You will not be smarter than her. And I think that's just the deal you get when you read an Alice Feeney book. She has 6 other books, and I am slowly planning my way through her backlog. So if you want to watch me slowly unravel and spiral, subscribe because more content is coming. I also read fantasy, romantasy, and romance, so if you're into that, definitely subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below which Alice Feeney book you have read and which one is your absolute favorite. I generally need to know if Rock, Paper, Scissors is going to be worse than the first 2. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!